Hey, hello, everybody. It's Charlie here at JC3 Cards and Collectibles with my good buddy Stu. We are here, as always, to go over the sales for the week that was. And in this video, we are going to talk about our basketball sales for the week. Not a huge week for basketball. It was overshadowed a little bit by football, baseball, and some auto racing cards. Came in number 4 in our rankings for the week. But we will go through each of our individual sales with you, show you what our listings looked like, how much they went for, kind of a little bit about how we got the sale. But we hope this type of information helps you in making your decision on what to list, comping your cards, things like that, so you can work with your own business the way we do here at JC3 Cards and Collectibles as well. We find that each business is a little unique, but we all could use a little help in this collective group in the hobby to make some of our decisions. I know we get a lot of help here from others, and we want to pass that along as well. So Stu and I will be back right after this with our basketball sales. Welcome back. We are ready to dive into our basketball sales for the week. We are going to give you a little bit of insight as to what we sold and how we did it. So without further ado, let's go ahead. I'll share my screen and we will dive right into that. There we go. So first of all, we like to share kind of where our sales came from for the week. We divide our sales channels into sport and non-sport. This week was heavily dominated by sport. And here you have a breakdown of what sports we're selling this week. You can see baseball came in at number 1, football number 2. Both of those attributed to over half of our sales. Then we had auto racing in at number 3. That put us at about 78% of all our sales were from those 3 categories. And then we have basketball in at number 4 on the week with 13% of our sport trading card sales. So definitely a noticeable amount of basketball. It often flip-flops in that auto racing spot for number 3. So next week, I wouldn't be surprised if basketball is in front of auto racing because it'll go back and forth a lot of times. And then you see we've got a couple other sports mixed in there too: MMA, hockey, soccer, a couple cards here and there. Those are categories we're trying to grow here at JC3 Sports and Collectibles, but I would say baseball, football, racing, and basketball are our primary sport offerings, and the sales reflect that. So if we look at the actual cards sold and give you a little information on those, let's jump ahead here. You can see all the sales we had for the week in the basketball category. Had, what do we got here? 4, 5, 6 of them. So half a dozen basketball cards for the week. I see a lot of repeat buyers in basketball as well. I tend to see them more in basketball than some of the other channels, and I don't know why that is. But it's also nice to see. Excuse me. Let's dig into these a little bit. At the top of the list, we've got a 2019-2020 Panini NBA Hoops Road to the Finals, second round, serial numbered out of 999, Kevin Durant. We see that up in the top left corner. I will tell you already that after the books closed for the week, I've already sold some more of these for this week. They seem to be a steady seller, and I find them pretty readily at card shows and boxes. I made the sale of this one for $6. Kevin Durant is still a pretty good seller. If you can get a serial numbered one like this, even on a $9.99, you can find a buyer for it. Up next, we've got a 2020-2021 Panini Donruss Marvels Paul George. You can see there's two Marvels inserts here. The next one is 2020, 2021 Panini Donruss Marvels Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. These both came out of the same sets. You can see same designs. Big fan of the Marvels. Looks like a comic book. I think there's a lot of buyers for that. Each of these sold for $3 a piece, and I believe this was a multi-card sale to the same buyer. So it looks like that's a collector that's trying to complete that insert set, and I don't blame them. I think these are cool cards. I like to grab them whenever I see them. I think they're a lot of fun. I don't have a lot of basketball in my PC, but if I did, I might think about collecting these because I typically collect lower end insert sets that make a good presentation. I'm not looking to invest in the future on a lot of cards I do in my PC. I am looking just for things I enjoy seeing up in my card room. And this would probably be one of my candidates for basketball because I seem to be drawn to these whenever I find them. So $3 each on these, I think, is a pretty good sale, especially when I can ship them together. So $6 sale, shipping for a 64-cent stamp, or metered mail, I should say, to be specific. I think that's a pretty good turn. I'll do that every day. And then we've got a 2023-24 Panini NBA Hoops Jam-tastic DeMar DeRozan Chicago Bulls over here on the right. Another cool insert. You can see I sold two of these. Up next, we're going to see I sold same card, same set, but a Vince Carter here. This again was the same buyer for both. I had a little different price points for both though. So the DeMar DeRozan I sold for $3.50. And then the Vince Carter I actually sold for $3.99. So like the Marvels cards, this makes for a nice sale when you can ship them together. So what was that? About $7.49 for those two cards, shipping out for the cost of one. So you make a little more profit. You can negotiate. You can use that to negotiate down, pass a little bit more of that down to your customer. As I look at that one, it looks like that was a best offer initiated by me on the DeMar DeRozan. And then the buyer paid full price for the Vince Carter. So there you see kind of that, okay, I can ship them together to the same buyer. They're buying more than one. I'll pass along that savings. And I believe I had $3.99 on the DeMar DeRozan one as well. So basically 49 cents discounted because I can ship them together to the same buyer. So nice little two-pack there as well. Vince Carter is a player that's always associated with dunking. So the Jam-tastic inserts really just goes perfectly along with that player. So I thought I would have little trouble turning these. If I see them again, I'm definitely going to grab them. And then finally, we've got a 2017-2018 Panini Donruss Hall Kings Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers. Jerry West is a player that I grew more appreciation for watching the HBO Max series, or I guess I should just call it Max now. They rebranded last year. I watched the series on Max I think it's called Showtime. Like the winning story of the Los Angeles Lakers or something like that. It's loosely based on historical fact, but it is dramatized for the show. So there are some things they exaggerate a little bit. But Jerry West is featured in there as both the coach at the end of his career before the Lakers entered the Showtime era in the 80s. But then he became general manager during that time, and really had a big hand in creating those Showtime Lakers. A very fiery personality, lots of swearing, no nonsense, hard-nosed type of guy. So watching that show, I grew an appreciation for Jerry West, and I started picking up a lot of his cards. So this one, I was able to make that sale for $2. It's not a very limited or rare card. But I've had a lot of success flipping Jerry West cards since I started picking him up. He is a Hall of Famer. And you may not know, but the NBA logo with the silhouette shadow of a player, that is based on Jerry West. In fact, if you see in the background here, there's a second image of Jerry West, and that is the picture that they based the NBA logo on back here. You can see he's on a dribble drive. So he's got the forward lean to him, ball out to the outside, away from the defender. That is, if you match that up with the NBA logo, you'll see that is the exact image. He is the player behind that image that the NBA put their logo on. So, fun fact for that. So those are our basketball sales for the week. Um, I think it was a good group of sales for the week. Definitely had some bigger things going on in auto racing and baseball this week with spring training starting, Daytona for NASCAR, and the new releases in both. So I'm not totally surprised that basketball slipped a little bit with the extra attention on those other two sports, but solid handful of basketball cards. That's what we like to see. Some stability in those markets. We continue to try and grow in all channels. Our listings keep climbing every day. I think we're up to 3,800 right now. And it is growing fast. I think we'll be over 4,000 before long. We recently invested in a card scanner here, so we're able to list things a little quicker. And we'll only see that expand as we get more familiar with that software and hardware. Excuse me. Um, Big things on the horizon here for JC3 as we continue to grow as an eBay shop. We continue to get a good base of customers. We're seeing more and more customers coming back repeatedly now. And that's because we hang our hat on excellent service. We are very transparent with our listings as far as condition. I think we grade them ourselves with a critical eye. We don't want anybody to have any surprises. If we see anything with that card, we're going to call it out. A lot of times we don't even list cards that have an issue. It just depends. If it's someone that there's a lot of market for, someone may have a use for less than perfect card for a reduced price. We might list those out. But if we do, we call those out very clearly. No surprises. But the vast majority of cards we put out are in near mint condition, pack fresh, no blemishes that we can find. Even I put things under a magnifying glass a lot of times just to make sure they are clean. If I have a question about a card, I put it under magnification for sure. So, all right. Well, that's our basketball for this week. Still have a couple more categories to go through. If you want a shortcut to that, you should find a link right up here. I think our miscellaneous sports is going to come up next. So check that out if you've got time. Until then, this is Charlie and Stu saying,